Hello, welcome. This is Talia and Trevere here with another Speedpaint Sunday, where I have an hour to try to paint a landscape from Genshin Impact. This one here, I actually just took recently while I was going questing around Fontaine. I don't know if you guys have been to this particular spot, but you can unlock it with one of the Fontaine quests. And I thought it was really cool looking, especially with all that stuff up there in the sky. So I grabbed a shot and I'm going to try to paint it. I think this composition turned out pretty crazy too with all of these angles. So I definitely like how the photo turned out. We'll see if the painting of it turns out any good. So yeah, I guess let's get started. I honestly expect this to be a relatively easy one, largely because it's so like kind of monochromatic. There's not a whole lot of different colors happening here. It's a lot of these like dark blues and then occasionally some slightly lighter blues and purples. There's also some like high contrast stuff going on, like especially up in here, which I've had some difficulty with in the previous speed paints because my colors tended to kind of blend together. So for these, I'm probably going to have to either try to do them on separate layers or maybe just grab a harder brush. So let's get started. I think I'm going to start by giving this like a kind of gray-blue background and then putting in the dark blue foreground. Well, actually, before all that, I should probably go ahead and put in just kind of a rough sketch of the area. Okay, like that. No. That's sort of there. And then just this big old vortex thing up in the sky. I'm not going to bother putting in these little floating bits. We can put that in later. So let's start with this kind of gray-blue situation. Not blue enough. That's probably not right, but I'll give it a try and see how close it is. Oh, that's definitely not right. We need something much, much more saturated, much bluer. Even that kind of feels like not enough. That's maybe too much, but you know what? I feel like in the past iterations of this, I've ended up with kind of gray, muddy colors. So I'm just going to try to make it a little bit extra bite to start with, and then they'll probably get a little bit more muddied out as I go. That actually looks pretty good. I think the original is a little bit purpler than this, but I'll take it. This, get that on a separate layer, something like that. I think that's not too bad. Again, I think maybe it's a little bit too dark, but I think I want to go for like extra contrast, just to really bringing out the dramatic contrast of this piece. Now this part is a slightly different color, but I think I'm going to put it in this color for now anyway. Although I will say that putting in lighter colors over the top of this is maybe going to be a pain. So maybe I shouldn't do that. But you know what? If colors start to blend together, we can always put separate layers and whatnot. Yeah, I think the corner part I will do in a different color. Oops, looks like I missed this spot here. Which color was that? Was that this one? There we go. You know what? I'm just going to fill all this in just in case there are more gaps, just so I don't have to worry about it later. Okay, cool. There's my start. Oops. All right. Where do we go from here? So there's kind of three main kind of areas of interest that I would like to put some detail in, which are this thing up at the front here, this floating ruin portion, and of course the big sky vortex up at the top. So which one to start with? Let's start with the front thing. Whoa, hey. This is kind of in the darker color, and then I'll just get a lighter color for the lighter parts of it. Is that okay? Maybe. I want something more saturated. Or maybe not. Maybe that's okay. It's weird how much that blends into the background, but that can be adjusted later. Why is it doing this? So like last time I was having issues with my finger accidentally brushing the canvas and doing stuff. Now I turned off a setting in Clip Studio Paint so I can't like use the brush with my finger. So I can do this with the brush, but if I just move my finger, it doesn't do that. But it still sometimes like moves the cursor and other things, which is really weird. So yeah, I'm hoping that does not become a problem this time. Let's see, let's make another layer and kind of put in so I guess this is going to be today's weird issue. It's always something. It's the ghost. It's got to be causing mischief again today. Yeah, yeah. Yesterday it was, or not yesterday, last week it was random strokes. This week it's the canvas getting randomly rotated, I guess. I think it's my glove that's just like not properly isolating my touch from the screen. It's so weird. I've never had this issue before last week. Now, you know what? I'm going to go back to this layer and put back some of the darker color, just so that my branches don't really blend into it as much. We can, I don't like the look of that. But yeah, we'll definitely go back and adjust some of this later. But for now, it can be kind of like that. Move this aside to make room for that other piece. And that'll be that for now, I think. Now let's leave that alone for now and go on to the floating background pieces. We'll start with this part is still kind of that dark color. But then it gets to a lighter color. Let me grab, which color should I have? This color. Oops. I think that needs to be even lighter. There's actually a little bit of, I think that's some, is that some like plants or something? There's something slightly green over here. Just gonna try to put in a little bit of that. Here, I think this matches the color better. Okay. And then as we get into this part, this is more kind of pushed back into the background. And it's more of this like gray, faded, purpley color. So let's see what we can get for that. So like this color is way too gray and also too light. So this is still like dark. Too dark. It's a tricky one. Maybe something like that, but probably more purple. Too purple. I think the right level of purple, but a little too like saturated. I think maybe that'll do for now. No, I kind of feel like it's still too purple. Okay, I'm just going to put this in for now, and we can adjust the exact shades later. So something like that kind of shape. Yeah, the color looks completely wrong. What am I doing wrong here? Let me get my dark blue. Where was that? Oh no, these colors are all look too similar to each other. Oh god, that's way too purple. Yeah, I really don't like the color that came out. That's the problem with having an image this monochromatic. All the colors are so similar, it's hard to tell them apart from these little splotches. That's going to be annoying. Okay. How do I do that color? I think maybe I'm just going too gray. That looks pretty close. Let me just get it a little bit purpler maybe. I think that'll maybe do. That's better, I think. Kind of like that, maybe. I think that'll do for now. And now let's just go in with the big vortex thing. Now, the question is how to make this happen. So I'm definitely going to have to leave the brighter areas for later. So those kind of go on top of everything else to make it pop. I guess I'll just start with the darkest colors in the center and maybe no, because it's harder to put in lighter colors over darker colors. I'm going to start with this medium purple, hopefully. Yeah, I think that's about right. And now go in with the darker purple. That needs to be way more. Oh my gosh. It's always something, huh? I might have to do that on a separate layer, because otherwise this blue is just blending into the purple too much. See, if I just put it by itself, that's really intense. Maybe now let's combine it now and try to blend it in a little bit. Okay, cool. And just for fun, let's put in a little bit of something super dark. Let's even go smaller with the brush size. Just a little bit for some drama. Okay. And now let's try to go in with, well, let's start working our way out. Get some of that pink. So if I were to try to just go in here, well, it's working better than I expected, to be honest. But that's going to have to be lightened up a good bit. All right, let's see. Take a bigger brush and kind of blend that out a little bit. I do actually want to put in a little bit more kind of pink purples out in here. Okay, cool. That's looking pretty good, although I think mine is kind of more purpley than this one. This one is kind of more towards the blue, but that's fine. And now I think, you know what, let's try to keep this on one layer, just using like small brushes and maybe even going to the pen tool if I need to. So what we need is much lighter pinks. If I start going into something like that, that should kind of give me what I want. Except eventually we're going to need to go even lighter. Like especially for this stuff here, we're going to put in, you know, maybe even white. This kind of crack effect. Yeah, I'm probably not going to be able to reproduce the cracks very well, but kind of give you the idea. I think get rid of the sketch now. So yeah, we're still missing like the bright blue bits and the like especially bright kind of white highlights, but we can go in with all that in a second. Let me try going bigger brush and blending, kind of softening some of this up. Although in this case, I'm kind of losing some of that. It's okay if we lose a bit of detail here, we can put it back in. I think I got the positioning of this a little bit wrong because there's more of this blue above here, whereas here it just kind of goes straight in. Oh well. And I'm definitely missing more of these bright purples in there. I think I'm actually going to go in and put those in. Purple. Just like a purple. Yeah, I think that's doing it. Okay, cool. I guess now let's start putting in some of the bright blues. We might need separate layer and or harder brush for this. Just all right, let's start another layer. Nice. Okay, we can combine these now, I think. And then maybe do a separate layer just for the, or I don't know if we need a separate layer. Maybe just go with small brush for like extra bright pieces. Hello, the creature has arrived. You know what? Pen time. Okay. So yeah, unfortunately I messed something up. So like this part here is gonna kind of get cut off on mine. But I can, I'll try to put in some of these cracks. Let's make some of them more of the pink. That pink's too dark, I think. Okay, cool. I do feel like I just went too dark here. Maybe try putting some more like a bright blue. Maybe like that. I think that turned out pretty cool. All right. And while we're at it, I think I'll also update this corner here. This is a little bit more kind of misty, more of that purple gray than the rest of this sky. How do I get that color? Just gonna try. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Okay, sweet. I think we ended up spending kind of a while on this sky vortex, but that is also sort of the focal point of this composition. So I think it's a good thing to focus on. Now I actually want to go in on this thing and put some more detail into this bridge. So I think that's kind of dark enough. Actually, I want to go in and lighten up some parts of it, I think. So here on this edge, this part goes into more of kind of this bright blue. So honestly, I think even if I do something like this and then kind of blend that in, that's maybe a little bit much, but you know what? Maybe I can just put it in a little bit lightly. Just kind of do that. That's not bad. Okay, yeah, that kind of works. So we do have these like flowers here and these cracks in the pavement. I think that stuff is better left towards the end. Although I do kind of want to put it in. But first, let me get in some more detail on these. So these highlights are not as saturated as these. So let's get something a little bit different. White. Or like that, I think. Yeah. Okay. Something like that. See if I can get this dark bridge color back. Is this what it originally was? I think it might be. Although I think this is no, maybe this one. Get in some of these shadows. I think maybe I can go even darker. Okay, kind of like that. And I'm going to take this original color, maybe put in some more detail on this stuff. Just get some more details in there. Oops. Kind of like that. And maybe harden up this edge while we're at it. Oops. Okay, cool. Okay, so I think the main things that we have missing now are more detail on this and probably more detail on this, although it is kind of, way off in the background, so it's pretty fuzzy, but I do want to put in a little bit more kind of variety in there. Let's start with the branches, I think. Oh boy, I'm not going to be able to find the branch color again. So let's just keep the basic shape as is and then just put in some kind of shadows and highlights in there. this one came out. Oh, but shoot, then I will have to find the color. All right, let's see. Is it this one? I don't think that's quite it. Close enough. Okay. Oops. So you can see that underneath this, you can see the sky behind, while here, really like the vortex. Thank you. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. In my version, you see the bridge behind it. I think I messed up some placement here. I'm gonna just try to adjust this a little bit. Oops. I think that'll do it. I think also my branches are a little bit in the wrong place. That's probably the bigger issue. But I'm not going to worry about that too much. So the tricky thing here is that there's like a lot of different values in these branches. So like this part of the branch is in shadow, but it's still lighter than like this extra dark one behind it. So we have to make sure that that contrast comes through. Whoops, wrong layer. So that the branches are kind of readable. Stop rotating, geez. And again, you can see I kind of messed up here that there's all of this space here in this branch where there isn't here. But again, not gonna stress out too much over that. Just kind of, this is the rough version done in 1 hour. It's not gonna be perfect. And like if I was doing this for real also, I would not do all of these branches all on one layer. That's a little bit silly. Okay, branches are coming along pretty well, I think. Oops. Now let's try to put in some highlights on them. How much time do I have? 15 minutes? Okay, I need to start kind of figuring out what to do with my how to most effectively use my last 15 minutes. Do the highlights real fast. Like that. I want to try to put in the floating bits back here. I really want to put in more detail on this column here, but I don't know if I'll have the time for it. You know what? First, I'm going to put in the details on the bridge. Let's get myself a nice bright blue. I'm going to start with this. No, you know what? I'm going to start with a separate layer and put in like something really light. And then, no, I'm going back to my original plan. Doing this and putting that in here. And then on like a separate layer, I'll put in highlights. Sort of like that. And then the other layer. No, you know what? I'm going to go in this layer, but just do it with the pen. No, I don't like that actually. I'm doing the separate layer thing. Never mind. I don't like how that came out at all. Try to like kind of build it up a little bit more, although I don't have time. Like that. Oops. That's probably as good as it's going to get in this amount of time. I'm just going to put in these. Okay. You know what? I'm also going to grab a darker color and try to put in some of the leaves on this, just so it's not. There's a little bit of more context around that. Okay, cool. That'll do for now. What else? Okay, I'm going to try to put in the floating bits in the back. And I really do want to put in more detail on this part, but I don't know if I'm going to have time at this point. Where's my floating castle? There it is. Okay. This is going to be hard to get a color for. That's actually not bad for a first attempt. That'll maybe have to do. I don't love it, but there's that. And I wanted to go in with a darker color on that too. Would this work? Maybe. No, I need darker. Yeah. Something like that, maybe. And then I'll try to put in some of the bits that are kind of floating there. But if I'm trying to use this color separately and not just to blend, all of a sudden it's way too dark. This maybe? That's too light. That'll be good enough. And you know what? There's actually some bright bits. I want to put that in. Where's this? Separate layer. Or, yeah, separate layer. This and some of these little bits. And I think also a little bit here, maybe. Something like that. Oh, and while we're at it, I think this bit had a little bit of maybe. Hello. We're nearing the end here. Oh, you know what I want to do? I want to. I'm good. Sorry, right now I'm focused on trying to finish this up in like 5 minutes. I want to try to focus on putting in a little bit more here. like that. Kind of fill that in a little bit more. Okay, what else? What else? What am I still missing? I do really want to put in more on the column here. Is there anything else I need? Yeah, let's do the column. Okay. It's not exactly the right color, but it'll do. Maybe actually just go in with this bright color. Yeah, there we go. That's doing something. Yeah. And let's maybe try to put in even some of this like braid pattern. I think that'll need a separate layer. Sort of like that, I guess. Big brush. Nope, too big. Oh, that looks so uneven. It's probably better without it. Yeah, close enough. Thicken up these lines actually. It's too light. If I do that, it should probably be darker. All right, last like minute or two. Anything else? You know what I kind of want to do? I kind of want to put in just like this little bit of highlight at the top of this part. I don't know if it'll show up at all, but like that. Nah, I think that only made it worse. All right. Can I call this done? Let me actually go in these trees again and try to darken up some spots. There we go. All right. Okay. Well, there we go. I think maybe that'll do it. Not bad at all. I quite like how the vortex turned out, although I think the glowy bits kind of down here in these cracks aren't quite what I wanted them to be. I think I wanted to put more of like a bright, like saturated blue behind them to make them pop some more. And that didn't quite work out the way I wanted to. But yeah, otherwise not too bad. I kind of feel like I didn't put any detail whatsoever into this front bridge, although it is, relatively simple here. That's not kind of where the main detail is. But yeah, overall, pretty happy, I think. This is a cool little area. Those floating ruins and giant sky vortex. Yeah, we'll see if I wander around some more and find any other interesting places to paint. I'll be sure to snap some more photos. And yeah, if anyone else has some cool pictures, feel free to send those to me. I'm not sure if you can send pictures on YouTube, but you can definitely send them over on my Tumblr. Yeah, that was not bad. I feel like this one was kind of simpler than some of the ones we've had previously, especially last week's. Last week's was so elaborate. But yeah, there was still plenty in here to keep me going. All right, cool. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my process here. There will be more of this next Sunday, and in the meantime, throughout the week, there will be some gaming streams. We're hopefully going to be finishing up Purgatory this week, which has been a really fun ride. So please do check out those streams. It's a great game. All right. Yeah, thank you for coming. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I hope to see you later. Bye.